I'm different. Always have been, always will be. I'm special. Both senses of the term. And that also applies to my gaming setup. Because your traditional gamer, they sit at the desk, they have a giant ass microphone in their face, they have the headphones on, but that's not me. So today I felt like showing off my gaming setup and showing all the controllers, the TV that I use, the chair. I just wanted to go through everything and show you guys what my day-to-day gaming setup looks like. So if you enjoy, make sure to leave all of your thoughts down below and let's get into this thing. So I wanted to start this off by showing the chair that I use. This is a gaming chair by GT Player, and I got it from Target.com. It was at a discounted price of usually ranged in the 200s, but I got it for around $120. It's made of a pretty nice fabric material, and it is a huge upgrade over the one that I had before because it was just like a cheap Walmart chair. It was all right. It was better than what I had before that, which was like a cheap steel chair that you would see in WWE, and the other one was tearing the leather. Fake leather was tearing on it because so right here I got some bony ass elbows, so that was carving into it. And it has a nice little recline feature on here so I can put my feet up, which was a huge thing for me. Because yeah, I'm not like most people that just sit at the desk all day. I like to kick back, I like to relax during my games, and this chair allows me to do that. So what do I do once I'm in the chair? Well, I like my video games big and loud. Now, I've never been a headphone person. I do have some over-the-ear headphones over there. I typically wear them few times a week, but I don't wear them for a long period of time because usually they start to hurt my little head and I don't like that at all. I also have some AirPods back there, but I've never used them. I know that's what all the cool kids like to have. They like to have one AirPod in the ear, not two for some reason, just one AirPod. But yeah, that's not me. So I like to play on a traditional television set with the audio pretty loud. With the games that I play, they have like kick-ass soundtracks, Super Mario Galaxy, Mario Kart World, Mario 3D World, stuff like that. They have amazing soundtracks, so I always want to hear them pretty loud, of course. So yeah, I'm going to show you what my TV looks like right now. So here's the television that I use for my everyday gaming. This is an Insignia TV. That is the brand from Best Buy. Pretty good for the price, but considering all the stuff that it has in it, it has everything that I wanted because I'm primarily a Nintendo Switch 2 user. So this TV does have all the stuff that the Switch 2 does. 4K, HDR, that's mostly what I was concerned about, and it does all that pretty well, I would say. And while I'm up, I just want to show off everything that I have on this shelf right here. So we have my Switch 2 here, obviously. I have a couple of figures that I still need to put in the right place. We have my Wii U that I need to dust off. And the Wii U is actually my favorite video game console of all time because I grew up with like the Wii era, and the Wii U rather can play all of the Wii games plus all of the amazing Wii U games. So I just have a ton of nostalgia and love for the Wii U. Very underrated. I actually made a whole video defending the Wii U era basically. Here's the Joy-Con 2 grip that I use occasionally. We have a Donkey Kong Bonanza amiibo that I haven't figured out where I want to put it yet. I want to display this somewhere. And then I have my newest copy of Super Mario Galaxy and the commemorative launch coin. I got both of these for Christmas because I had the Nintendo Select version growing up, so I wanted the original version of Super Mario Galaxy. So yeah, that is what this shelf looks like, and this is the TV that I use. Does the job. I love playing on this very much. So now let's talk about the controllers. Now, ever since the first Nintendo Switch came out, I was around 12 years old, and I had this like ungodly obsession with Nintendo Switch accessories. Like I wanted to buy every single thing that I saw on the shelf at these stores, and I would always binge watch videos from so many YouTubers unboxing and having these hauls of Nintendo Switch accessories. And then as I grew older, I started to get a brain, and I realized I do not want to blow all my money on all this stuff that I don't need because the stuff that I have already works. So I don't have as much Nintendo Switch 2 accessories as I did for the Switch 1. A lot of my Switch 1 accessories are locked away in the closet over there that I haven't touched in years. For the Switch 2, here's what I use. This is the official Nintendo Switch 2 Joy-Con in the grip, of course. Now, I don't use this as much as I did when the console first launched because I moved on to a couple other controllers that I'll show. It is sort of comfortable, but one of the problems that I have with this thing is that the ridge right there, you can see right there, is for some reason it's kind of sharp to the touch. It's like if you hold it like this, it kind of like digs into your hand right here, and it's not a good feeling. The original Switch 1 grip, it was at a weird angle too, but it didn't have like a sharp edge around it. So yeah, it's passable like if you're in a pinch, but I prefer to use the Joy-Cons like just like this in the straps because truthfully the Joy-Cons actually do feel pretty good this time compared to the Switch 1 Joy-Cons. These are actually bigger buttons, bigger thumbsticks. I can't talk. When I have these in the grip, it's like a fidget toy for me and my OCD because I just like to press the button like that. That's like a good fidget toy for me. It's also kind of a distraction when I try to play my games. So that's the grip. I prefer to use them with the straps. But now let's move on to the real gamer controllers. Now my next take might get me in a bit of trouble with you in the comments, but I actually regret getting this Nintendo Switch 2 Pro controller. Now I like the controller, don't get me wrong, I don't want you with your pitchforks already. Look, hear me out on this one. It's mostly because of the price. This thing was $85, and I do have a couple of issues with it that just, they annoy me. It's like the texture that they used for this. I have like a bad OCD, and I do not like when a controller feels sweaty in my hands, and this one is sweat galore after you use it for a long time. It has like this matte plastic. It is not like shiny, or it's not rubberized like the original Switch Pro controller. I wish they kept that, but I'm trying to show it as best as I can. It's like a matte finish, and me being the dumbass that I am, I accidentally dropped it off my lap once, and it already has a chip on the paint that I can't fix, which annoys me every time I look at it now. But I don't like the texture of the controller. Everything else feels amazing. I love the thumbsticks on this. The thumbsticks are my favorite part of this controller because they feel like so rubbery and buttery smooth. I just like to grab this controller sometimes and just move all the buttons in the thumbsticks because it's so satisfying. A lot of times I kind of force myself to use this. Like, I don't want to use it. The controller that I'm going to show you after this, it's my favorite controller that I use for everything. But I kind of force myself to use this because I'm trying to justify the price, and I kind of don't want to tell myself that I wasted $85 on this because that's going to make me really, really pissed off, and you don't want to see me pissed off. If you're okay with the matte finish, then I would say it's a great pickup. But if you have a Nintendo Switch 1 Pro controller and that one still works, then I don't really see any reason to get this one unless the thumbsticks really matter to you. And actually, my Switch 1 Pro controller, I could not use it on the Switch 2 because it was drifting. Yeah, imagine that, something on the Switch 1 drifting. What a big shocker there. So I actually did have sort of a reason to get this, but also I did not, because I also got this controller a couple months before the Nintendo Switch 2 came out, and this is my current favorite controller. It is the 8-Bit Do Pro 2. It has two thumbsticks on the bottom, and it is more styled like an SNES with the D-pad right here and the buttons right there. Everything feels amazing on here. The D-pad is amazing. It is way better than the Nintendo Switch 2 Pro controller. The buttons are a lot more clicky and satisfying. They do make the satisfying like button noise. You can hear right there. The Nintendo Switch 2 Pro controller buttons, they are like silent. But this one feels so much better, like in every single way possible. And it's like a nice plastic, which also means that it doesn't like leave it all sweaty after a long play session like the other one does. So you can see right here, I'm gonna see if the camera can do it justice, but it does have a nice texture back here. The triggers are analog triggers, so they feel amazing. These ones feel amazing up here too, the bumpers on the top. I guess the only thing that feels better on the Switch 2 Pro controller, in my opinion, is the thumbsticks, because let me see if you can see it right here. These thumbsticks, you can see like the stems of the thumbsticks. They are pretty worn out, as you can see right there. That is not going to happen on the Nintendo Switch 2 Pro controller, so that is the big bonus with that one. But all around, I just prefer using this one. It doesn't have HD Rumble or Amiibo or anything like that, but that's not really a big deal to me. It does have motion controls, which means I can play Super Mario Galaxy with this thing, which is basically all I care about with the controller. If I can play Galaxy, it's going to be a passable controller. If I can't play Galaxy, I ain't using it, okay? But this one has motion controls. It has a rechargeable battery. It is wireless. It works awesome. It is only like $40 when I last checked for the Pro 2. They just released a Pro 3 with a lot of other features, and that one's like $69, I believe. Not sure if I can update that one anytime soon. But this is my current favorite controller, the 8-Bit Do Pro 2. It is the controller that I use during my everyday game sessions, and is also the controller that I use for the next segment I want to talk about. And that brings me to the next portion of the tour. So from August 2024 to whenever the Nintendo Switch 2 launched in June 2025, I actually did try to be like the cool kids, and I did play on a monitor and computer for the most part. You can see my Nintendo Switch OLED back there. I usually had that hooked up to this nice 4K monitor, and I played that for a little bit. But then towards the latter part of 2024, I kind of got bored of the Nintendo Switch, honestly, because there was just like no big Mario games coming out at the time, and I was just honestly waiting for the Switch 2. And here's the part that's going to get me canceled with Nintendo. I actually did try my hand at emulation on here. So I have Dolphin emulator, I have Citra for 3DS, and I have C-Move for Wii U. Like I said earlier, I haven't touched any of my emulators since the Nintendo Switch 2 came out because I've been playing a lot of Mario Kart World and most recently Donkey Kong Bonanza. So I finally got what I wanted, finally got some new games to play. So that is the main reason why I haven't touched this emulator ever since. But on my head, I put some 4K texture packs for Super Mario Galaxy. Super Mario Galaxy 2, that's one of the ones that I barely get to play since it's not on Nintendo Switch for some reason. So take notes, Nintendo, if you're watching, put Galaxy 2 on your damn console. Newer Super Mario Bros. Wii. I loved that game as a kid. I will always binge watch it on YouTube, watch any of the gameplay that I can. And I'm not exaggerating when I say this, but 9-year-old me, it was my literal dream to play newer Super Mario Bros. Wii. I literally wanted nothing else more in this world than to play that hack of Mario Bros. Wii. I was finally able to do it on this, and it was a very magical experience. Got to play it in 4K with the texture pack, of course. I have an HP Omen computer. You can see the nice glowing lights right there. But yeah, and I used the 8-bit Do Pro 2, that blue controller that I just showed you earlier. That is the controller that I used for the emulator as well, because it works with Windows, works with Apple. You can connect it to your iPhone if you wanted, and it also works with the Switch. So that's one of the main reasons why it's my favorite controller, because it just works with everything, feels great. I also forgot to mention that it has Hall effect joysticks, which means that it's not going to drift like any of the Nintendo stuff does. But yeah, that's what I did. I emulated, which makes me a bad boy in Nintendo's eyes, but I don't emulate anymore. I've been mainly focused on the Switch too, but since I'm recording this video, there's actually been a kind of a drought since Donkey Kong with Nintendo games on the Switch too. So I may have to go back to emulation on here, who knows? Kind of miss New Super Mario Bros. Wii. But that is my PC setup. I also have this cool Mario Kart map on the bottom. I'm not sure if you can see it or not. So yeah, gamers, that is my gaming setup for September 2025. I doubt it's going to change much anytime soon, but if it does, I'll make sure to make an update video on that. But yeah, this is the controller that I use, the 8-bit Do Pro 2. I mostly play on the Nintendo Switch too. I also play on an emulator here and there. But yeah, that's basically all that I have to show. I had a great time showing you all this. Make sure to tell me what your gaming setup is in the comments down below. I love reading all of your comments. Interacting with all of you is my favorite part of this channel. So if you have any other video ideas you want me to cover, topics you want me to talk about, drop that down below too. But I had a great time, and I appreciate all of you watching this video, and I can't wait to see you for the next one. Thank you very much. See you then.